around the parish long enough, you find out a lot of people know a lot of interesting things. Today is Saturday, March the 23rd, 2019, Saturday of the second week in Lent, and it's also the optional memorial of St. Turribius de Mogrovejo.
St. Turribius of Mogrovejo?
Turribius de Mogrovejo.
No. Mogrovejo?
The saint of the day is Saint Turribius of Mogrovejo.
Good job.
I was trying to practice this morning saying Turribius of Mogrovejo. St. Turribius is from one of my favorite places in Spain called Salamanca. So we have arrived here in Salamanca. Just had a quick couple of tapas sitting in the square. If you've never been to Salamanca, you have to get there someday. It's an absolutely beautiful city. St. Turribius had been assigned as Archbishop to Lima, Peru, and actually was a contemporary to St. Rose of Lima. Jesus, I trust in you. Okay, so I came down a little bit early just to check, make sure that everything is set up for our men's ministry here. It's called That Man Is You. I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. Excellent program. I would highly recommend it to anybody who is considering starting a men's ministry. Good morning, Sebastian. How are you?
Good morning, I'm good.
That's good. That's Joanna hiding behind you?
Yes.
Hiding? Never me. You know me, your Father Peter.
Energetic.
I'm confrontational.
For you, really not having the meat is important because you said you eat meat every day, but maybe you don't eat the same kinds of meals as, Joanna. So we really have to think about what are our habits and how do we need to curb them in order to properly orient our lives back to God.
Oh, pupusas!
I was just testing her ability to read in Spanish.
Do you want me to leave a message and then he's just gone? Who does that? He does this every time he calls me.
It's who he is, clearly.
You don't do that.
I'm wondering just how many people can appreciate things like the precepts of the church. The precepts of the Catholic Church.
Uh-oh.
How are you?
I'm well.
Quick question. Do you know what the precepts of the church are? Don't worry. Everybody's done the same thing all day.
What are the precepts of the church?
Do you know how many there are?
What do you mean by a precept?
Today's pop question has been, do you know the precepts of the church? I get that look from everybody, isn't it? Don't feel bad. Do you know how many there are?
No. 5. I knew that.
You feel
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What does that even mean? Sorry.
So do you know your precepts? I thought it would be important maybe to spend a little more time looking at some of that teaching. Now, one of the best sources for that, of course, is the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I keep my catechism handy. It's both on my cell phone, I can get it on the computer, and certainly I have my copy of it right here.
The Catholic Church has only 5 rules that we are called to observe. And those rules are referred to as the precepts of the Catholic Church. And they can be found in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, beginning on paragraph number 2041, and the subsequent paragraphs following them.
I believe one of the forgotten aspects of church teaching is what we call the moral precepts. There are 5. The precepts of the church. First precept, you shall attend Mass on Sundays or holy days of obligation and rest from servile labor. Failure to do so is considered grave matter.
But we have to attend Mass on Sundays and days of holy days of obligation.
You know, the next 2 precepts go hand in hand, the second and the third.
We have to receive Eucharist at least once a year during the Easter season. Then we have to go to confession at least once a year. But
the second moral precept of the Catholic Church is that you should confess your sins at least once per year. The third moral precept, which is that you should receive the Eucharist at least once a year during the Easter season.
I don't even know what precepts are, so...
Attend Mass.
okay.
Or at least receive
Confession?
Eucharist.
Okay.
At least once a year.
Confession.
The fourth precept is an interesting one. You shall observe the days of fasting and abstinence.
And is that 4? Yep. Okay. What is something that you're supposed to be doing on Fridays in Lent? Well,
Not
all
eating
Fridays.
meat?
Wait, but for the fast, you said something about how every Friday. Is it only that?
You know, it's interesting how many people don't keep the Lenten fast anymore. They don't abstain from meat on Fridays. They just live their lives, not even really paying attention. I'm not going to say there's malice involved.
What?
What happened?
I ate meat yesterday.
She does not know how to fast properly.
Yes, I do. I was
she's
starving.
always-
I
she's-
ate lunch at 10 o'clock. Can't do it anymore.
Do what?
Fast.
Good
I
job.
can't.
Have enough-
Remember when you said you didn't care?
Child, they're just not paying attention, not recognizing that it's a Friday maybe, and the next thing you know, you're just eating bacon. The 5th precept is certainly one of the least known, especially by Catholics. You shall support the material needs of the church.
We have to tithe to our parish or give faithfully of our time and talent in other ways.
Of course,
Okay.
later on.
So what was it?
So the 5th precept is to support the material needs of the church.
Okay, so the 5th, I don't even know how to say it. Priest what?
Support the material needs of the church.
To support the material needs of the church. That's one. That was the 5th one?
Support the material needs of the church.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I got that one. Oh, I'm so proud of myself.
Right there, black and white. Black and white. It is important to mention, too, that the precepts of the church are considered positive law, not negative law. In other words, these are not you shall nots. These come under the category of saying you shall. You shall attend Mass on holy days of obligation and Sundays. You shall go to confession. You shall receive the Eucharist. In that regard, these are to support and to strengthen. These are to aid the Christian in growing in the moral life. See, so what happened to me this one time is a kid snuck up on me saying, what are the precepts of the church? I didn't know, so I went out and I had to learn them. So like everybody, we had to keep learning.
Define learning. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna remember this after this.
Repeat
That was the answer.
it.
So today being a Saturday, you might want to consider how you're going to prepare yourself for Sunday Mass. Maybe consider seeking the sacrament of reconciliation. Maybe just saying a few prayers right now and asking God for the grace to be able to fulfill the precepts of the church. In any case, it is so important that all of us try to live the moral life and to live it to the full.
She actually didn't know what to do. I was like, how do you mean you don't know about vacuuming your life? I was vacuuming when I was
This
freaking
is when
Lucas's
you
age.
dropped everything on yourself, remember?
Yes, and it still has that photo.
I go back to a time when we didn't have vacuums. We had to use brooms.
I kind of want pizza, which it's technically okay, but I'm like, but we have pasta in the house. In order to get the pizza, we have to spend the money. So I'll just make the pasta. So I did the work instead of spending money. And that was kind of a little bit slightly more penitential than ordering out pizza.
It's a good pastime.
See, but now here's the question of the day. Do you know what the moral precepts of the church are? I get that look from everybody, don't worry about it. Sing my melody for all my soul, I worship your holy name.
No hay café aquí. We can make. Oh, Father Peter, how are you?
Getting ready for tomorrow.
We make it for tomorrow.
Spanish community is getting ready to have a big party tomorrow. They're going to be making pupusas to try to raise some money.
That's a good question because we also, this is from El Salvador. In Colombia, we have something called arepas, which is done from white corn. And then you can put like, for pupusa, they put like cheese. They can put also zucchini.
And they're good?
They are good, they're delicious. You should try some of them tomorrow during our pupusa sale.